Welcome, true crime enthusiasts, to a tale that will chill you to the bone, a story where silence speaks louder than words, where an entire town became a monument to the unknown. This is the story of Serenity, a town that vanished from the face of the earth, leaving behind only its name and a silence so profound it's as if time itself has been swallowed whole. Nestled in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, Serenity was once a vibrant, if somewhat secluded, community known for its peacefulness and the close-knit bonds of its residents. Life there moved to the rhythm of nature, with the townsfolk living in harmony with the land, celebrating each season with festivals that were the talk of the surrounding counties. The town's architecture was quaint, with its main street lined by buildings that seemed to whisper stories of simpler times, and the air always held a hint of pine and wildflowers. But on October 13, 1954, Serenity fell into an eerie silence that has never been broken. It was a day like any other. Children were in school, adults at work were tending their gardens, when suddenly, the town went silent. No screams, no signs of struggle, just an abrupt cessation of all activity. A mailman from the next town over, due to deliver the afternoon post, found the town eerily quiet, with doors left ajar, meals half-cooked, and cars still running in some driveways. The initial investigation was perplexing. There were no footprints leading away, no signs of mass exodus, and no evidence of foul play. The only clue was the town's name, Serenity, now a cruel irony. Over time, theories abounded, from a mass suicide pact to an alien abduction, from a hidden natural disaster to a government experiment gone awry. Yet, no theory could account for the silence, the absence of any human trace. The silence of Serenity became a canvas for the imagination of the world, a place where every local legend, every whisper of the supernatural found a home. The town's records, found untouched in the town hall, spoke of a community preparing for the fall festival, of lives that were ordinary, filled with the mundane details of daily existence. One of the most compelling explorations into this mystery was led by Dr. Evelyn Archer, a sociologist with a particular interest in collective behavior and mass psychology. In the late 1980s, she initiated a project to understand what could drive an entire town to vanish, focusing on the psychological and social dynamics of Serenity's last known days. Her research unearthed diaries, letters, and community records that painted a picture of a town under stress. There were mentions of strange phenomena in the weeks leading up to the disappearance, lights in the sky, unexplained sounds, and a growing sense of disquiet among the townsfolk. But what stood out was the recurring theme of a silent day in local folklore, a day when all sound would cease, and the world would hold its breath in anticipation of something profound or apocalyptic. This folklore was not new. It had been passed down through generations, but in the months before the disappearance, references to it had increased, as if the town was bracing for its own myth to come true. Dr. Archer hypothesized that this folklore might have played into a mass psychological event, where the collective belief in the silent day could have led to a shared hallucination or a collective decision to leave reality behind, perhaps stepping into another dimension or state of consciousness. She posited that the entire town might have entered into what she termed the silence, a psychological state where the fear of the unknown was so potent it became reality. This theory was further supported by interviews with a few individuals who claimed to have experienced similar phenomena in other parts of the world, where groups of people had reported temporary, collective disappearances or silence, only to return with no memory of the event. There were tales of entire villages in remote areas experiencing moments where time seemed to pause, where the world became eerily silent before resuming as if nothing had happened. The horror of Serenity lies in the silence, in the questions it leaves unanswered. What happens when fear, belief, and the unknown converge in such a way that reality itself falters? The town's absence became a canvas for the world's fears, a place where every silence sense has been scrutinized for signs of another serenity. The physical remnants of the town, books left open, clothes hung out to dry, a pie still warm in an oven, all suggested a life abruptly paused, not ended. In 2005, a team from a paranormal investigation show attempted to spend a night in the now deserted town. Their experience was marked by equipment failures, sounds of life where there should be none, laughter, footsteps, whispers, all recorded but never explained. One investigator claimed to have seen figures moving in the distance, only for them to vanish when approached. They reported feeling an overwhelming sense of being watched, of being somewhere that was not quite part of this world. Their conclusion was nebulous, suggesting that perhaps Serenity hadn't disappeared but had moved into a frequency or reality beyond our understanding. The story of Serenity continues to captivate and terrify. It's become a pilgrimage site for those seeking answers, for those who believe in a thin veil between worlds, for those who study the mind's capacity to create its own reality. The town, or what remains of it, stands as a silent testament to the power of collective human experience, to the mysteries that still linger in the quiet corners of our world. Some have returned from Serenity claiming to have heard voices, not of the present, but of the past, recounting the last moments before the silence. Others speak of a feeling of peace, as if the town still exists in some form, perhaps in a parallel existence where the silent day never came to pass. As the years have passed, the legend of Serenity has only grown. It's a story whispered around campfires, a cautionary tale of what happens when a community's collective psyche is pushed beyond its limits. It's a reminder that silence can be the most profound expression of the human condition, that sometimes the absence of sound is the loudest statement, the void left by a community the most haunting presence. As we leave the silent shadows of Serenity behind, remember, the story of Serenity is not just about what was lost, but about the echoes of what might still be, in some silent place beyond our grasp. It's about the power of belief, the depth of fear, and the thin line where one reality ends and another might begin.